certainty gives you confidence. That's where confidence comes from. If you've ever noticed, older people are more certain than younger people. They believe it because they've seen, experience has shown them certain things. So I'm certain of these things that I'm telling you because I've seen them work out. This, we'll call it a journal entry, is May the 30th, 2018. Okay. This was 2 to 3 weeks. No, I'm sorry, 2 to 3 months after the goal that I wrote down, which got smashed because it was too small. Here's the rest of the story. I got fired, so I had to go home, number one, and tell my wife that I got fired. That was no fun. I had to take all the art that was in my office down and put it in a little car and drive home and say, hey, guess what? No job. But I have an idea. And the idea was number one, finish the book. So I did that as quickly as I could. I worked on it 8 hours a day and finished the book because I knew that I had the most effective way of talking to customers via text message. So we wrote that book, The Art of Text Message Selling, which became a number one seller on Amazon in the sales section, by the way. Thank you for purchasing it. You can go to Amazon and purchase it. But I had an idea. I had a strong conviction that I had the most effective method of reaching customers on Facebook and then converting those leads into cars sold. I said, because we had just taken this small dealership from selling no cars to selling a lot of cars, and we're using Facebook. And that's what the argument was about when I got fired. I was told that I wasn't doing it right, but I was. They went out of business after they fired me because they didn't know what they were doing. They were wrong. I was right. The proof is in the pudding. I got 2,000 dealers who do it my way, and you had to close your dealership. Anyway, I said I had this idea that I can take to the marketplace and it'll work. This method will work in any market. So I said, we have to find a dealer who believes me. So on May the 30th, 2018, no dealers believed me. But I also have another principle, that your relationships are the most valuable asset that you have, that you need to increase your network with good people. And then you need to help people along the way when you can. So I started calling all the people that I had worked with in the past that believed in Billy. And I went down the list. No opportunities came, but I called a friend of mine, Michael Carson, who I'd worked with in the past. And Michael is a big event, a super sale guy. He goes around and does super sales for car dealers. Now, in the past, back in 2015, 16, I was doing the same thing using direct mail, and Michael would go facilitate some of these events. So I called Michael. I said, hey, Michael, I don't have a job. He said, no problem. Go sell us some big events and I'll come work them. I said, no, you don't understand. I haven't called on any dealers in a long time. I don't do direct mail anymore. I have a Facebook event idea that will work in any market, and I want to come bring it to where you're at. He said, sure, you can come. You know, they've already paid for the mail. I said, no problem. I'll spend my own money on the Facebook ads. I'll handle all the customers. I'll set the appointments and I'll get them to come in. So I'm going to read to you. He said, sure, come on. He was in Kansas City at a dealership called Shawnee Mission, which was actually, he was in Shawnee Mission, a little, I guess, it's basically right next door to Kansas City. It's in the metro area of Kansas City. Wednesday, May 30th, 2018. I'm going to read you something very personal here. I'm putting my pearls out there to get trampled on by the pigs, by the swine. I'm giving the swine some pearls to trample on. As I sit in the Atlanta airport between flights, I have time to focus and plan. I'm headed to Kansas City for my first time to help Michael Carson facilitate a mail sale. And remember, I didn't believe in mail at the time, and mail is not why I was going. I was going to take my idea, to take the Facebook event A Facebook event had not yet been done. They seem excited, and I'm excited as well. I am already dressed in a tie. So I'm in the Atlanta airport. The sale had already started. It was a 10-day event. I was coming in on day 4. I was coming in hot, dressed, ready to hit the ground running. I had not started any ads yet because I didn't have any content. I couldn't from my home do a video. At the time, I only did video ads. They were working the best with Facebook's algorithms. I couldn't do an event from my home and say, hey, this is Buyback Billy. I'm in my house. I guess I could have, but I didn't. I had no content out there yet. So nobody in Kansas City knew Billy was coming. Nobody in Kansas City knew Billy except for Michael Carson, who was there facilitating the event. I'm dressed in a tie, and when I hit the ground in Kansas City, I'm headed straight to the dealership. I'm clear-minded and focused. See, I tell you all the time, it's important to talk to yourself in present tense. Because if you don't, somebody else is going to be feeding your mind.
They're going to tell you who you are.
They're going to tell you who you are. Great, thank you. They're going to tell you who you are. I'm going to tell me who I am. I'm not going to let someone else tell me who I am. I'm clear-minded and focused. Now, total transparency here. If I'm having to write it down, it means it's important to me because I might have been struggling with it. So there is doubt. You're going to have doubt. When you have doubt, sit down and write it down. I am on this trip for one reason. Increase my footprint on the planet in a good way. Now, Smith, you hear me talking to the salespeople all the time, and I tell them to smile, be agreeable. So right here, I'm telling myself the same thing. I'm going to smile, be nice and agreeable, and present some awesome numbers to these dealers. So I already knew I was going to be talking to customers. I knew they were coming. They will buy. I'm putting it out there. I will sell cars, and this is the part I wanted to share with you. This is the most important part. Pay attention. I will meet new people who will add value to my life. Now, on this trip, when I got there, that's enough of that. But on this trip, when I got there, they picked me up from the airport, took me straight to the dealership. I walked out on the parking lot, never met anybody at the dealership except for Michael. I started recording selfie videos of me standing in front of the dealership saying, hey, this is Buyback Billy. I came all the way to Kansas City from Georgia. I'm here to buy back all the cars during this event. I'm going to pay you up to and I'm going to pay you $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in. Very limited time for 4 days only. You got to get in here and you got to ask for Buyback Billy. Day one went by. Nobody came. People started showing up asking for Buyback Billy. People started selling cars. A road salesperson, they're not going to go find Buyback Billy. They're just going to say, yeah, I'm Buyback Billy. Come on, let me save the car. They sold 14 cars off of my ads. I sold 7 or 8, and I even sold one off of the mailer that they had. So, I mean, a customer come in, I was going to sell it. But the point is 14 people showed up and bought a car off of my Facebook idea. That proved to me that this would work in any market. So I went from having 0 events to having 1. I didn't have an office. I was doing everything from a hotel room at night, setting the appointments, and from the dealership during the day. It's all because I wrote my goals down and was willing to get out there into the marketplace. And now we went from 1 dealership to over 2,000. It all started with an idea. It all started with a crazy. I was just crazy enough to believe that I was right. And I know that the harder you work, the luckier you get. But the point of this is you got to write your goals down. Now, the last line I read there, I will meet new people who add value to my life. Now, this is the coolest part of the story. I just got through selling a car, and I walked back out onto the point, waiting for a customer to show up and ask for Buyback Billy. And I was texting. I was using the art of text message selling, which had not been published yet, but it was already finished. I was using the art of text message selling, talking to customers through Facebook Messenger. And the guy who sold the event to that dealer walked up to me and took my picture. So I took his picture. I don't know why he's taking my picture, but I'm taking his picture too. He said, "Hey guys, I may need some good salespeople in the future, so just, if you will, save my number right here. And give me your number. I'm going to save your picture and name. I'd love for you guys to come sell for me in the future." He thought I was just a salesman there, right? I was just there like everybody else. He was the event salesperson, the event facilitator, and he was wanting some good salespeople. So he had my name and he had my number. I didn't pitch him. I knew he was the guy that got the check from the dealership. So when you do a direct mail sale, they write you a big check to do the event, to do your direct mail and bring in the salespeople. They write you a check for $50,000 for the direct mail or whatever. So I knew he was the most important guy there. He took my picture. I took his picture. Remember, I will meet new people who will add value to my life. Writing down my goals. I should have wrote it down in present tense, though. I've met some amazing people in Shawnee Mission that have added tremendous value to my life. I wrote it down in future tense. It still worked. The guy, his name's Mark Compton, that I met. A couple of days later into the event, they're selling cars. The mail's kind of soft. Not that many people are coming in on the mail. They're coming in asking for Buyback Billy. He said, "Who the hell is Buyback Billy? What are you going on? Facebook? What are you talking about?" And so finally they tell him, that's Billy right there. He said, "You Billy?" "Yes, sir." "What is this Facebook thing you're doing?" I thought he was about to get on to me and run me out of the dealership. And he said, "These people are coming in buying. Can we do that?" I said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can do that. We're doing it." So he said, "All right, well, I guess you can keep doing it." We left there and I flew back home. I made a few bucks while I was there. But that wasn't why I went. Now, April just walked by. April.
Would you like me to go see if I can find you a water, by the way?
Am I sounding scratchy?
I just know you coughed a minute ago. And
I've been tested for COVID. I don't have COVID. All right. April, Caleb he had an emergency. So very impromptu, I've told the story transparently of how I got fired. And we went from 0 dealerships to 2,000 now. Yeah. And I was telling them the story. Here, you can have. I'm sorry. I was telling them the story about meeting Mark Compton. See, I don't even think you've ever seen this. Probably not. May the 30th, 2008, sitting in the Atlanta airport. What was your feelings like when I hopped on a plane and flew to Kansas City?
I was a little nervous.
A little nervous? Mm-hmm. And so I told the whole story of how the event started working, and then I flew back home, and I made a few bucks. Yeah. It wasn't a lot of money.
Not many. But
I told April, I don't know if you remember this or not.
So I guess you told him that we took our last money for you to go there.
I didn't go that far. So there's the rest of the story. We didn't have a whole lot of money, so we used the last $5,000 we had to get the plane ticket and the hotel room and the Facebook ads. So I'm out in Kansas City spending money on Facebook ads on your credit card.
Yeah.
And you love to stay home alone. So yeah. You were at home. I was in Kansas City with this idea, and
my credit card dinging every few minutes.
Your credit card dinging every few minutes, telling that we've Billy just spent another $900 on Facebook ads. So anyway, I get home and I made a few bucks, and we'll call it a couple $1,000. You said, "Why are you doing this for $2,000? You can go to work for Woody Folsom and make $2,000 a week."
I said that.
So tell me what you said.
I said, "You can go to work at Woody's or a car dealership and sell a car. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Or two, or
right. Whatever. And I said,
And
thi-
be at home at night.
that was very important to her that I be at home at night. And I said, I'm not doing this for
For
$1,000
$2,000,
or $2,000. I'm doing it for millions of dollars. And in the beginning, April didn't quite understand that. It took a little time. I shared with them also the goal that I had written down 2 months prior to getting fired. Not going to find it right now. They've already watched me look for it one time, where I said, I'm going to make $240,000 a month, live on 120, and save $600,000 in 5 years. And it's the first time I've ever on this show talked about God. But when I read that this morning, I said, that's proof to me that there is a God and that God does have a bigger plan for your life than you do very often. Because it's turned out, she's going to start crying. It's going to make me cry. It turns out that, we think we know some things, but faith is very important. And it's very true that oftentimes we limit ourselves with small goals.